Welcome everyone to Not That Media. My name is John, and in this video I just wanted to spend a few minutes talking to you about what I consider to be a very special Blu-ray release that's probably going to go under many people's radars and probably doesn't get the attention it deserves. So when I say Vincent Price to you out loud right now, what do you think? Do you think, yes, the voice of Thriller, the inventor in Edward Scissorhands, the killer in House of Wax, the original, House on Haunted Hill, Dr. Phoebes, so many Edgar Allan Poe stories? You probably have a very clear image, a vampire on the Muppet Show, frightening Lisa and Marge Simpson from returning from the grave because his son was selling an egg painting set. So many different things that Vincent Price conjures, but all resolving around the world of the horror and the macabre. So to my surprise, recently when I was sitting down looking through the various pre-orders and things like that, this little gem of Vincent Price popped up, and I actually ummed and ahed on it for 2 months. It came out in, I think, late October 2024, maybe November 2024 actually, and I purchased it in January 2025 because I couldn't believe it existed, and I actually thought, you know what? Sometimes an item or a concept is so crazy, you've just got to go with it, and you've just got to sit and buy and watch what you've got. So I'm here to talk about the time in 1971 when Thames TV commissioned Vincent Price to produce Cooking Price-Wise, the legendary TV cooking show presented by the one and only Vincent Price. Yes, that's right, people. Cooking Price-Wise. If you're new here, firstly, thanks for watching. Please do consider liking and subscribing. And if you are a frequent viewer and a subscriber, thank you as always for your loyalty. Yes, Cooking Price-Wise, the very, very strange but very, very wonderful time that Vincent Price was given a British cooking television show for 6 weeks in which he offered his personal recipes, his personal insights into the wonderful world of cooking. Now, today, everyone sits and thinks that obviously this cooking boom that we go through now is new and original. All the Nigellas, all the Jamie Olivers, all the Gordon Ramsays. Oh, how new and interesting. It's not new. It's been around for ages. There was a huge boom in the very late 60s, early 70s in which cooking shows were everywhere. Fanny Craddock and so many others had all these different shows where they quite literally just stood in front of you for half an hour and they cooked. Vincent Price, for some reason, was offered a role to do this, and he ran with it. This is a BFI, so the British Film Institution Archive video Blu-ray. This is release number 50. As you can see, it's in a really nice black case. The cover replicates the cookbook that was released years before the TV show. He produced a cookbook of his own recipes that he collected from around the world. It was an immensely popular book. It sold for 30p at the time, and up until recently when the book was re-released, that original book would sell for £1,000 at least. So this was a very sought after item, that cookbook. It was on many a shelf in the UK, and it wasn't about being scary or horror or anything like that. It was just a showbiz personality offering you his insight. So to read you the back very, very quickly, Vincent Price's legendary cooking TV show. You don't need to be the master chef. I'll start that again. You don't need to be a master chef to join cinema's master of terror, Vincent Price, in the kitchen for this brilliantly bizarre crash course in varied 1970s cookery. During the early years of that delicious decade, while he was in England, the iconic screen star and fine dining aficionado took an unlikely break from macabre movies to rustle up this 6-part television series, a labour of love designed to get bored British housewives serving up something very different. From melon monsters to crocodile cucumbers, not forgetting the perfect souffle, the marvellous Mr. Price is your genial and garrulous host, don't know how to say that, amid the paisley patterned saucepans as he demonstrates favourite recipes from around the world in a fantastic, long sought after, full fat celebrity cookery show unlike any other. This was, according to the interview, which I'll mention the extras in a moment, this was the one of 2 most sought after Vincent Price television film productions that fans have been clamouring for quite literally decades. This was only shown once in the UK, and I don't think it had particularly bad reviews from what I've seen. It's actually a very positive thing. It was a one and done situation though. For those of you who are interested in the tech behind this, it is UK. So this is a Region B Blu-ray. So you will need a region-free Blu-ray player to play it if you're outside the UK. It's 143 minutes. It's English language with optional descriptive subtitles. It's in its original aspect ratio. It is mono 2.0 sound as well. There is an option within this to watch it in high definition and in standard definition. So for those people out there who always like to say that there's no difference between high definition and standard definition, this will prove you wrong. The special features, I'll just go through this very quickly for you and then I'll give you some of my thoughts on this. Presented on Blu-ray in both high definition and standard definition. Until We Eat Again 2024. Vincent Price's daughter, the writer and inspirational speaker Victoria Price, reflects upon her father's love of the finer things in life. Audio commentaries on selected episodes. Monster Munch, a 25-minute documentary. The Queen of the Kitchen, Jenny Hamilton of Silver Screen Suppers, demonstrates how you can prepare Vincent Price dishes. Kitchen Finder General, which is obviously a fantastic riff on Witchfinder General. That is, where have we gone? Yeah, that's going through the courses again. A selection of food-related films made by the Central Office of Information from 1940 to 1949. They have nothing to do with Vincent Price, by the way, but they are this fantastic time capsule about how outdated and how ridiculous sensibilities and woman in the kitchen, man at work, comes home with his briefcase. They are an amazing insight into cooking and mentalities in the 1940s. Tea making tips. Take the strain out of brewing the perfect cup of tea in this 1941 wartime instrumental film. Again, amazing time capsule of information. Century Express, which is 7 minutes. A gastronomic journey from Yorkshire to London on board a special train formed by vintage restaurant cars and hauled by a steam locomotive. So it's safe to say, outside of a documentary from his daughter, which is very good, very candid, Vincent Price is the rest of the content on this Blu-ray is not Vincent Price related. There is a modern cooking some of his recipes today just to show you how easy it is, but the rest of it is a lot of old school features about cooking and information, which you would expect in a BFI release. They would probably just put on there because there was something, just A, fill it up, and B, it's about cooking, so why not stick it on. But it's a fantastic time capsule is what I would say, not only of 1971 but also of the 40s. So if you're into that kind of thing, and I don't know who would be, but each to their own, that is some really cool stuff. But anyway, just to talk about the Blu-ray itself, the Blu-ray has a fantastic image of Vincent Price, obviously there, nice and redded out, cooking price-wise. What I find fascinating, in this first limited edition run, it contains one of these books. This has kind of become a bit of a popular thing now, is to include books in first pressing, sometimes the art card, or the cover card there. What I find interesting about cooking price-wise, and this image here, you might just think, why does it look like that? This actually gives you an idea of the level of production quality this TV show had. If I said to you Vincent Price cooking show, it might make you think that he's standing in a Gothic castle and he's doing all this weird thing as lightning flashes and bats fly over his head. The reality is, and I find it so fascinating, and by the way, if you don't know this, Vincent Price was 6'4", so he was not a short gentleman. But what you have, and I'm sure pictures will flash up, although there's not that many pictures actually to be able to show. This is the kind of quality we got in this cooking show. This is not a cooking show with a high production value. It is quite literally a kind of two-sided kitchen set, lots and lots of browns and lots of different random 70s aesthetics in there. This is a very low-budget production, but it's got a real charm to it. Vincent Price, it's not about being funny or scary or all these random different things. It's just about the cooking. He is really candid, he's really open, he's very funny, and what I like about it is that his cooking level, whilst he had a very strong cooking level, and there's an amazing story that his daughter told on the Blu-ray, that the souffle episode, prior to that, Vincent Price had decided that he wanted to find the perfect souffle and make the perfect souffle, and for something like 150 nights on the trot, his family had to eat souffles because Vincent Price refused to stop practicing until he could crack the perfect souffle. So this is a man who knew his food, knew what he was doing, but he presents it in almost, and it's again another wonderful picture. He presents it in a way almost like you've wandered into a dinner party, and he is just a very cordial host. He sits you down and he teaches you on a very basic level. It's not pandering, it's not negative, it's not looking down on the viewer in any way like some of these things do. He is very open. What I love about it as well is the mistakes get made. You get a real insight into the real Vincent Price, you know, his fluffs and the way he gets things wrong and the way that he exaggerates and makes noises to put over his point. He's a very big fan, kind of like William Hartnell, to kind of go when he's trying to exaggerate a point or make a point. To give you an idea, by the way, of the 6 episodes, so you know what kind of culinary delights we have to go through for these 6 episodes. Episode 1 is potatoes, aka dishes from New York, Savoy and Holland. Episode 2 is I cannot pronounce this. Oh no, sorry, that's the menu. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. Episode 2 is lamb, aka dishes from Greece and Morocco. Episode 3 is bacon, aka dishes from Great Britain. Not sure how the decision was made to link countries to certain items, but I like the fact that Vincent Price, he thinks bacon, he thinks dishes from Great Britain, so he's not wrong. Episode 4, cheese, aka dishes from California, Switzerland and Austria. Episode 5 is rice, aka dishes from the Gulf Coast, Hawaii and Indonesia. And then we finish off with episode 6, cream, aka dishes from Italy, America and Turkey. This is a well-made TV show is what I would say. Mistakes get made, things get spilt. There's a wonderful home feeling quality that kind of conjures up those old memories of when you used to have a conversation with a relative and they're banging pots and pans around, they're smashing things onto the heater. There is no pretension from Vincent Price's performance in this. It's not even a performance, it is him. This is an amazing insight into a great man who was known for such delightful horrors, to take time out of his career to produce a labour of love cookery show that all these years later, 54 years later, has had a home physical release, a Blu-ray, this wonderful piece of time capsule. If you're a Vincent Price fan and you're trying to get your hands on it, get it quick, because I'm sure this is one of those Blu-rays that when it's gone, it's gone. This is insane. I did want to spend more time talking about it, purely because when I saw it, I couldn't believe my eyes. Vincent Price, the cooking show. I'm really glad I bought it. The food, one thing I would say, not to be disrespectful to Vincent in any way, I would not eat any of the food that he makes in this show, and it makes me very proud to live in 2025, because it means that if that's what we were eating in 1971, I'd probably be dead, is the truth, because he is delightful, he is funny, he clearly makes food with love and passion and care, carefully chosen ingredients, carefully chosen timings. Everything is right to that moment, but my God, as a fussy eater, there is nothing there that I could eat for him. So I watch it for the production value and the comedy value of Vincent himself. He's very funny, he's very witty, but my goodness, the food from the 70s, no thank you. But as I say, a fantastic time capsule, well worth your time. Really happy to have this in my collection next to my other Vincent Price movies. Is it something I will frequently watch? Probably not. But sometimes, dear collectors, you just have to take a punt, go for the ride, and you find gold like this. This is fantastic. Old school cooking, more Vincent Price than you probably would realise you need to have. The man, the myth, the legend is all out in front of you. No silly performances, no over-the-top makeup, no monsters and ghouls. It's just a man in his kitchen. I say his kitchen. I'm sure his kitchen was much nicer. You know, getting down and dirty with the pans and showing you what he's capable of. Strong recommend. Well worth your time. So until next time, stay scared.
This, my friends, is the moment of terror. What will the souffle be like